Hey friends, this is Deb with Art and Grace, and today is day 2 of our Christmas in July series. So I'm going to show you how to make this nativity ornament using glass that you cut yourself. This is mosaic glass and it's textured, so it's a little harder to cut. I don't recommend this glass for a beginner, but if you want to know more about cutting glass, I do go into great detail inside my membership. But I am taking my scorer and scoring the glass and then cutting it into somewhat of a rectangle shape. This never has to be perfect. I think a little bit of organic look to things makes it more realistic. So this is going to be our little manger, and I'm just using my nippers to kind of nip off some of the sharp edges. And I usually do this over a box and it catches all the little pieces, but in this case I'm doing so little cutting and nipping that I'm just doing it over a couple of paper towels. Again, don't recommend, but that's what we're doing. And then I do wet my sanding stone, and I'm gonna carve or shave this down so that we get all the little sharp edges off. And this is a boring part to watch, so I'm speeding it up, but it is a necessary part. You've got to get all the rough edges off. Now we're going to do a face for baby Jesus. So I'm going to grab my old nippers. Those I'm not as careful with as my new ones. So I'm just taking these and going around that little circle, and then we'll nip it to get it really nice and smooth. I would love to have a grinder. I don't have one yet, but you can get this really pretty smooth with your nippers. You can get that Sharpie off with just a touch of alcohol on a paper towel. It just comes right off. And look how cute. I do need to cut some legs, so I'm going to take the rest of that brown glass that I've got and cut a couple of little legs. I tried some other glass and decided I wanted this blue for baby Jesus. I really would have liked a light blue, but I just grabbed the first blue that was near me. And so if you do make one, I would recommend a lighter blue to show up better. But anyway, I am just nipping this into the shape of a little tiny baby Jesus, which is sort of the shape of a football or something like that for this. I'm nipping a few little tiny pieces to kind of go around the curve of his head as if the blanket was covering him fully. Like I said, I should be wearing gloves, but I had really just thought of doing very little glass on this, and I just kind of kept adding more. But really do wear your gloves to protect your hands, because these, especially little pieces, can really give you a bad cut. Now what you see me cutting is little pieces of gold glass, and I am using those to kind of mimic hay. So I'm just cutting really small little tiny strips with the nippers, and we'll put those all around the little manger. I cut a lot more than I thought I was going to, so I am cleaning up my mess. Then we will need to sand all of these tiny pieces. This is where you really need to be careful, especially if you are new to glass cutting. Those little tiny pieces can really cut deep. But I'm going to sand all of these, and then we'll be ready to assemble, paint our ornament, and then assemble. Everything has been cut, nipped, sanded. I cleaned it with alcohol, so it's ready to be put on the ornament. I'm just making sure everything fits together and it's going to be cute. I did decide to cut a little bit more hay, so I'm using more gold, and then I'm going to use a little ceramic candle holder that broke and cut those little strips, and then we'll be back. Okay, everything's ready to go. I'm going to put on my gloves. We're going to mix up some resin, and then we will paint our ornament. The reason I do this is it gives it a little bit of time to thicken up. I really only need maybe a 1/4 ounce for this ornament, but I'm going to mix up a 1/2 ounce because I've got a couple of them to do. So I use Art Resin brand. I am not an affiliate, but I just really love this resin. It gives me a great outcome every single time, and I have found it to be the safest that I can buy. You should do your research and be sure you understand what you're using and what it can do. before you bring it into your home. So research your brand well. So this is a 1-to-1 ratio. I'm going to use 1/4 of an ounce hardener and 1/4 ounce resin and mix those two together. I will fast forward during the mixing process, but please do mix slow and easy. Don't mix too fast or you'll get too many bubbles, and it does need to be mixed for 3 solid minutes. Like I said, I'm going to set that aside and we're going to paint our ornament. I will put the colors I'm using in the description of this video. In fact, I'll put all supplies. And I'm going to paint the background a blue, and then we'll go over it with a lighter blue and then with our white pearls. So if you've never painted in layers, I love to use layers. It really will add and kind of give you dimension and some special effects. So just get a background of blue or any color that you choose, and I'm going around in a circular motion with a flat brush, just getting this ornament painted. But everything we do on this ornament is going to go around in a circular fashion, and that way your brush strokes will really look even better than if we just went back and forth. If you've never painted on these ceramic blanks, they're actually ceramic bisque, so they feel pretty dry, almost chalky, and they have been fired once, but they have not been fired the second time. So you can just go right onto them with your regular paint. You don't have to put a sealer first. I always seal them after I paint them. So today we're using resin, but if you don't want to use resin, you can just paint your design and then use a sealer. And I use either like triple thick, I have used the DuraClear sealer, just any sealer that you choose and you want it to be shiny, that's what I will do. So get inside that little circle. Honestly, I recommend a small brush to kind of get in there and get that circle painted. And then we'll do the sides and the back, so I'll speed this portion up. So I painted 2 coats of the paint. I am drying it, and now we're going to do a little dry brushing on. So I'm getting my brush into the light blue, and then I'm going to tap a little bit into the medium blue and kind of get a mixture, and then just go around this circle with a really light touch. I don't want it to be overpowering, but I want to get some of the swirls going in that lighter blue. I think that is so pretty. Again, we're going to dry it, and then we'll go over it with our white pearl. I didn't think to use my actual dry brush on that first round, but we're going to use it on the white pearl. So I'm dipping it in the white pearl, but then tapping off a lot. I don't want this to overpower or be too bright. So I'm starting off with very little on my brush and just lightly whisper it around your circle. Just start with less than you think you'll need, because you can always add. But once you get a big blob of that white pearl on there, then you would have to repaint it to fix it. So I start really light and feathery, and it is so pretty that really you can just see right there that that is really good enough. It's just beautiful. But add more to your liking or to the amount you want to use. Now I'm taking a sponge dauber and dipping it into the glorious gold. It's also a metallic like the white pearl, but I'm going to take that gold and go around the edge of the ornament, and that will really help our star to really stand out and just kind of highlight that, to have that extra gold. Now I'm taking a liner brush and I'm just going to paint on a gold star. I do one of these nativities every year, a little bit different. This year I'm going around the whole thing and writing, "Oh Holy Night, the stars are brightly shining." This is a gold metallic marker that I love to use if I need to write. Okay, we had set our resin aside. It's probably been about 10 minutes. So now it's just a little bit thicker, which is really nice because it should not go over the edges of my ornament. However, I do recommend that if you're new to resin, you tape the back. If you don't and it goes over, you're going to have lots of drips all along the back. So they're not attractive. You don't want to sell an ornament like that. So I highly recommend taping the back until you're really comfortable with resin and you can be sure it doesn't go over the edge. But I'm just spreading on, a light layer, and then we're going to lay down our glass pieces. I use a little mini butane torch to pop the bubbles, and then you're ready to set down your pieces. This is the easiest part of the whole project. You're just setting the pieces where they go, and it's as simple as that. I have a dedicated set of tweezers that I use, and I can really get those pieces into the little nooks and crannies without trying to use a finger. And also have a toothpick available so you can pick out any little specks or little dust particles that might fly into your project. And that is a couple of helpful things to have handy. I'm going to drizzle a tiny amount of resin right over that manger so that when I lay down the little glass, the little things that are going to be the hay, it will kind of have something to cling to. So that will really help. Just a little bit, not enough to flood the ornament, just enough so that when I set those down, they'll kind of stick there. I am speeding this part up because it's a little bit time consuming to place all of these pieces, exactly where I want them. I'm trying to kind of put white and then brown or gold, kind of alternate those two colors for the hay. So I'm speeding this up a little bit. You can see that I'm just using my tweezers to put each little piece where I want it. I'm adding some to the what I call ground, down at the base of the manger. So that will look like hay on the ground. And that's all I'm doing here. When I am done, I just take a little bit more resin and kind of drizzle over things, and that's it. I don't want to flood it, so I'm not putting very much extra resin. I'll pop the bubbles a final time and then I'll let it cure. It will need 24 hours for a soft cure and 72 hours for a full cure, and that just means it'll be as hard as it's ever going to be. But after about 24 hours, I can definitely take it outside, take a photo, whatever I need to do. And here it is in the finished state today with a ribbon, and it looks so pretty. I just love it. So I hope you will try this. Please let me know if you want to see more details about cutting glass, or if that is boring to you, you just want to see how to paint it. I can also show you how to paint one. So let me know what you'd like to see in the comments below, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Wednesday's Christmas in July.